The universe is huge and complex, and it's filled with all sorts of different things. Some of them, like the stars above, are so huge that it's almost impossible for us to imagine their size. Other things, on the other hand, such as this flower, are tiny. But size is just one of the ways in which things differ. There are, of course, many others. Some of the objects around us are, for example, burning hot, while others are freezing cold. Some are alive, while others are not. But regardless of how varied, how different they can be, all the many things around us share one basic thing, one fundamental condition in common. They're all made of matter. Today we're going to take a look at matter. We'll learn something about what matter is. We'll also explore the different states or forms in which it occurs. Matter, such as that from which these crystals are made, is one of the two basic fundamental ways in which the universe reveals itself to us. The other is energy. Matter and energy, they are the foundation of everything that is, that exists, that happens, that is, that will be. They, matter and energy, are what makes up and controls the universe. Of the two, it is matter that we are most able to understand, since every single object we see around us is made of it. The many different kinds of things we see around us may appear to be very different from each other. Yet as varied as they are, they all, from this cactus to these mountains, share one thing in common. They all occupy space. And that, the fact that something occupies space, is one of the things that is characteristic of all the many different kinds of matter. For all matter, be it that from which this tiny bug is made, or that in this huge elephant, occupies space. But the fact that all matter occupies space does not mean that it occupies it in the same way, for it doesn't. The truth is, the matter around us occupies space in several different ways, or forms. We often think of matter as being something solid, something hard and rigid, like the steel and concrete in this building. That's certainly one of the forms that matter can take, one of the ways it can occupy space. But matter can also be as formless as the gas which fills this balloon, and as yielding as the water in these waves. Ever since our ancestors fashioned tools such as these from stone, people have studied matter. The early Greeks believed that all matter had originally come from water, and that eventually it would become water again. Later, a Greek teacher, Aristotle, decided that all matter was made from 4 elements: fire, water, earth, and air. Today, thanks to the work of countless dedicated scientists, we know a good bit more about matter. We know, for example, that every bit of matter is made of tiny particles called atoms. These atoms are made up of still smaller particles we call electrons, protons, and neutrons. And these protons and neutrons, we now know, are made of even smaller particles called quarks. In addition to knowing something about the basic particles from which it is made, scientists now also know that all matter exists in 3 basic physical states. These are solids, liquids, and gases, the different ways it occupies space we spoke about earlier. Here's a piece of solid matter. Like all solids, it has a definite volume and a regular shape. it has a given size that can be measured. In addition, solids have a certain hardness and rigidity. They resist changing shape. Solids look, feel, and behave the way they do because of the way the atoms of which they are made are arranged. The atoms from which solids are made are packed closely together, as we see here. This arrangement helps solids keep their shape and volume. The shape of some solids, however, such as this ice, is easier to change than others. Smash a block of ice with a hammer, and it will shatter into pieces. We call such solids that smash into bits brittle. Still other solids, especially heated metals, can easily be shaped, bent, and formed into sheets and wires. We call such solids ductile. Matter can also exist in a liquid form. The atoms in a liquid, such as water, move about very freely. The atoms in liquids are not held together as closely as are those of solids. Because of the loose bond between them, they can easily slide past each other. As a result, liquids can flow from one point to another. Thus, even though liquids have a definite volume, they take on the shape of their container. The line that separates solids and liquids is not a hard and fast one. Almost any solid, no matter how hard, would become a liquid if it is heated enough. Here, for example, we see liquid steel. Normally, steel is a solid, but here it has been heated until it pours almost as easily as a cup of chicken soup. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, even rocks become liquid. There they are subjected to incredibly high temperatures and enormous pressures. During volcanic eruptions, they can flow like water as they spread across the Earth's surface. And when they are heated even more, rocks and other solids are turned to the third state of matter, gas. The atoms of which gases are composed are not held closely together. They can move around easily and quickly in all directions. As a result, gases such as the air in this balloon do not have a definite shape or a definite volume. Instead, they take on the shape and volume of their container. This means that if a balloon full of air were to burst in a room, the air in it would expand to fill and take on the shape of its new container, the room. So far today, we've seen that matter normally exists in one of three states. It's either solid, liquid, or gas. However, matter can, under some circumstances, exist in yet a fourth state or form. We call this fourth state of matter plasma. Plasma occurs naturally in the sun and other stars. It is a form of matter that is made up of electrically charged particles. On Earth it occurs naturally in lightning bolts. However, man is able to create plasma in several ways. For instance, electricity turns the gas in the tube of a neon sign into a plasma that gives off light. Plasma also is created during a process called arc welding, which uses very high temperatures to join pieces of metal. For the last few minutes, we have taken a look at what we mean by the word matter, and learned something about the different states in which it exists. In learning about it, we are learning more about things in the world around us, and in the universe beyond.